Because we hate them. Because they disgust us. Because they are rats. And most importantly, because in Rome, they are only guests. Welcome to the Rome Derby match preview. What an important derby we have. Probably one of the most important ones in recent times. Claudio Ranieri's last Rome derby as a Roma manager in his intense managerial career. And I can't wait. Sunday night, it's been quite a long while that we've had a derby at night. And I feel like derbies at night ignite that adrenaline even more. So it's going to be a fun one. We'll be there on Sunday to report everything. So of course, stay tuned. But we're ready to speak about this because this derby means a lot for both teams. This derby means kind of last Champions League hope for, I would say, both these two teams, which is why these teams will want to avoid losing this derby, because I think losing this derby for Roma and for Lazio means kind of officially cutting themselves out of the Champions League race. Of course, then that would mean keeping the fight going and keeping the race going for the Europa League. But I do think that losing this derby would be fatal when it comes to Champions League hopes. Let me quickly turn this blind down because I think light will be better. Right, there we go. I mean, Lazio, of course, coming from Norway, coming from that game against Bodo Glimt. It's going to be interesting to analyze this game on their perspective, even though I'm not here to do that because I don't like them and I don't want to speak about them. But of course, it will be an element to consider because, I mean, as far as I'm aware, if I am them, I would not want to be in their shoes. Losing the first leg of a quarter-final of a European Cup 2-0, and in mind already thinking about that potential comeback for next Thursday, which is possible, but it's not easy. But in the middle, you've got a derby, which nobody wants to lose. So I think the balance of attention for them, the balance of concentration and psychological energies for them is something to consider. And I do think it depends on our side. I don't usually say this. I don't want to say this. I actually don't even want to dare say these words. I don't even want to pronounce the words of us being favorites and everything. But if you do tie the sums and if you add things, then I do see us in a better shape. Again, remember what I always say, there's a myth in Rome. And this myth says that the worst team that goes to a derby is the one who wins it. And last January, it was the proof. Lazio were living a great moment. We were living a terrible moment. It was the start of the Ranieri momentum, but it was still not officially there. And we managed to win, and we were the worst team preparing for that derby. So the derby, again, is always, I always say this because it always is a recurring theme, is a game where it's unpredictable. It could go either way. Fitness, form, and everything goes out of the window. It's about who wants it more. It's about who steps up on that pitch with more willingness and fighting spirit. And ultimately, it will be between who wants it more. And this game means a lot for both teams. It won't be a meaningful derby. Now, not that a derby is usually meaningless, but there have been derbies in the past which, weren't as important as others. And I think this one is on top of the list of very important ones because for both teams, it's kind of it's a pathway either to paradise or kind of back down in a sense. So it's a hard one to predict. But right, we're here to speak about it. If you are excited for it, I want 100 likes on this video. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. It's a derbies. If we don't hit 100 likes, it's sad and depressing. So hit the like. It's a Rome derby. We must win this for our chances and I was gonna say let the best team win, but no. I'm not saying that. We must win this. There is no way I will ever say that in a derby. We gotta eat them. We gotta send them back in the sewers. That's definitely a statement. Right. I think first thing to do is looking at how these teams come towards this derby. Oh, that's why. Hang on. I was wondering why it was so. I was wondering why it was so dark, and then I was like, the light isn't turned on. There we go. That's much better. In terms of who comes best, I say us. I say us because we've had a lot of time to focus on this game. You know, playing one game per week. The positives of playing one game per week are this: you can have a lot of time. You can prepare tactically, physically, mentally. You can focus on this game more than them. Form-wise, we're better than them. And I think importance of this derby also depends on this side. Why do I say this? I say this because seeing the calendars of both us and them, ours is harder. And due to the fact that our calendar from now until the end of the season is harder than theirs, we have one result out of 3. They could have 2 results out of 3 in this game. Because technically for them, a draw isn't bad. A draw for us, in my opinion, does cut us out of the Champions League. To continue in it and to continue dreaming and believing in it, we have to win. So I think form-wise, focus-wise, and importance-wise, I can argue it depends on our side. Because we must win this. A draw, it can happen. It's not the end of the world, but a draw would be pointless. If you'd won against Juventus, I'd have said a draw would be good. But you drew against Juventus, so you got to win against them. So I think that's important to say. Now, if I look at them, I must say that they started very well. But then they've kind of been placed back in the positions of the league table that represents them. This is no offense, but it's just the truth. Lazio don't have a top 4 team. I know that it's not something that we should say this season because of how our season started and how it developed even worse in the decisions that we made. But in my opinion, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Roma fan, I would say this even as an outsider. Our team and their team, in terms of quality, can't even be compared. They cannot even be compared. We have got 3 times the quality that Lazio have. We do, and that's the truth. And I'm not here trying to jinx it, because that's not what we do. But it's simply the truth. We have got better players than them. We've got players who have done it in a bigger stage than them. And I would struggle to find 3 players. In fact, I would even struggle to find 2 players which would start in our team from their team. The only player that would start in our team is Rovella. And maybe Zaccagni. But there is no player that in their team starts for us. So we are a better team than them. We have got more quality than them. I think, analysing this derby, you must consider the away game that Lazio just came ahead. Going to the Arctic Circle. I don't want to say much. I don't want to mock them now because there's still another leg to be played. And I don't want to look like an idiot mocking them now and then them coming back. If they do get eliminated from Bodo Glimt, it would be just immortal mockery, because the amount of things that they had to say about us beating Bodo Glimt and winning a trophy with Bodo Glimt in it. Paolo Di Canio calling Bodo Glimt salmon hunters. If they if there isn't even a brink of chance that they get eliminated, Paolo Di Canio needs to dig his head under the soil and never appear, because he would look like an utter idiot that you'd have no idea. But I'm not going to say anything as of now, because there is another leg, and of course at home, and there's a chance that they come back. I mean, I think that chance is quite high. It's not easy, because it's not. And they don't have that European mentality that we have, but it's definitely possible they do come back. And they're lucky that yesterday's game ended only 2-0, because I watched that game. It was probably the most powerful hate watch of the last 20 years on my side. And I'll be honest with you, they're very lucky that game ended 2-0, because if that game ended 5-0, Bodo Glimt would not have robbed one thing. So again, Imagine us, playing a derby when 3 days before it, you've traveled to the Arctic Circle, lost the game because you'd lost the game. So you also need to prepare for the second leg and you also want to come back. -degrees, snowstorm, 5-hour plane. They landed in Rome back tonight. They don't have much time to prepare the derby. If you compare it to us, we've had a full week to prepare for this. So the game against Bodo Glimt for them will be heavy. It will be a heavy blow. Also because of the fact that they did not win it. Because now they kind of need to also rest some players and keep them fresh for Thursday. But as Ranieri said it perfectly in today's press conference, if it's an excuse, then it's weak mentality. We have been playing on a Thursday for basically the majority of a season since the last 7 years. And we did not complain once. In fact, it was a matter of joy and passion and pride to play on a Thursday. So if I'm a Lazio fan going, no, I'm already putting my hands forward. We played on Thursday. It clearly shows to me that your European mentality is so damn weak. Complaining because you played on a Thursday instead of being happy about it just because you've got a derby. They should be proud. And they should have treated yesterday's game way better because the road to the final is not a hard road to the final. And, I'm sorry, but Ranieri said it. We've played on a Thursday for the last 9 years and we never said a word. So shut up and cycle down. Moving on to us, because I don't want to only speak about them. Of course, both teams have big key injuries. We have Dybala injured and they have Nuno Tavares injured, who I remember, you guys, in the first leg in January, Nuno Tavares completely dominated that left flank and Nuno Tavares was the reason Lazio were even dangerous in that game. So it's heavy misses for both, which will influence. Of course, ours is going to be a blow, but we know what happened to Dybala and we got to work our way and grind our way through it. Going to the game, I must be honest with you, I think after about 7 consecutive derbies, I see a derby with both teams scoring in it. The last Rome derby, which saw both the teams, both Roma and Lazio score, was the 3-2 Lazio win, the 26th of September 2022. So it's been a while that we've had a derby with both teams scoring. I see this one, I could see it happen because it means a lot. Both teams can't lose this game. Both teams will go it and will go for it. And especially us, we cannot lose this game. We genuinely can't lose this game. And we can't even draw this. So I see us scoring. Ideally, this is another 0-1, 0-2 win, like the January one. But I don't know, it's never easy. It's never easy to predict these games. It's never easy to predict how these teams step up. My predicted 11 for the derby is this. I mean, I don't think we have many doubts about this. My only doubt is Pellegrini. In fact, my only 2 doubts are if Pellegrini will start. I see him starting because, as I said many times, it's his last call. He either performs in this one or it's done and dusted and he will leave. And I would like to see him because he feels this game like a Roman and like a Roma fan, so he gets the best out of himself in these games. So I would start Pellegrini, but I wouldn't exclude the fact that we won't see Pellegrini start because El Shaarawy has been playing well lately. And he's definitely been better. I would not start Baldanzi in this one. I'm sorry. Ma spegni! Ma abbassi! Fucking hell, man. I just hate when... Jesus Christ. Anyways, Sorry about that. My mum just uses its speaker too loud. I mean, she ain't even deaf. Holy fuck. Um, what was I saying? She distracted me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Pellegrini. It's so hot. Excuse me if I'm sweating. Right, Pellegrini. Yeah, I wouldn't exclude the fact that we won't see him start, because I think Ranieri's made it clear. I don't start players just for the sake of starting them and hoping that they give a spark. No, I agree with him. There's no need to start him just because, oh, it's Pellegrini, he always scores in a derby. There must be a reason behind it. The reason behind it is the fact that he feels this game. And when he feels a game, he plays better. But again, as I said, I wouldn't exclude him not playing. Dovbyk up front, Sule next to him, of course, recovering Dybala's position. And then Salamakers, Paredes, Kone, and Angelino in the middle. My order down here is Homos to start or Homos not to start. I don't think Homos will start. Because I think I think we played a great game. We've played a great past few games with Çelik as a centre back and Salamakers wide. And I think we'll do it again. Çelik has been playing well lately. Before his injury, he was great. He needs to now get that momentum back on that he lost with the injury. But I also feel like starting Homo. I think the plan here is this: start like this and find a goal, and then maybe if you can keep a lead, you sub Homos in the last 20 minutes to park the bus and keep it, winning aerial duels and clearing the ball away. Because consider the fact that 70 minutes into the game, even 60 minutes into the game, Lazio will rotate players because they need to focus on that game on Thursday as well. So Castellano starts, Zaccagni starts, Rovella starts, Guendouzi starts. But yeah, okay, they'll start, but after 60 minutes, they'll be forced to rest because they cannot possibly, play all of these players for the full game, and then of course restart them next Thursday. So it's a matter of balance. I think it's about finding the balance for both teams. We have more freedom of balance because we're only playing one game per week, so we can allow players to play for more than 70 minutes. But if I were in their position, I would not want my starters to play full 90 minutes in a derby, which kills energies and gets energies at you when you've got probably the most important game of the season for them next Thursday. So I think that is also another thing. What else? I think biggest threats on their side are Zaccagni, Castellanos, and Pedro if he gets subbed in. Of course, there's going to be some tantrum shows. Unfortunately, we won't see Dybala against Guendouzi, but we'll surely see some Paredes against Guendouzi, Kone against Guendouzi, Paredes against Rovella again. It will be a fun one on that, and for sure, it will be one where we can get our popcorns out. Last but not least, managers. Ranieri's won, 5 out of 5, or 4 out of 4. He's won all Rome derbies as a Roma manager. So, let's scratch your balls. I guess he knows these games and he knows how to prepare them way more than Baroni, who of course is inexperienced and will struggle, and will also feel the pressure more because this is kind of the last derby for Ranieri and one of the first derbies for Baroni, if they want to continue and start the project with him. So it's kind of past against future on the opposite sides of the River Tiber, of course. Yeah, that's my match preview. Look, bring it on. I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure if it's a good sign or not, but I have lived this derby with less adrenaline than the rest. For the simple reason being that the media, I've had enough of the media throwing names of future managers. It's so bad. It's so bad. Announce this manager and shut everybody up. I've reached the stage where I'm so desperate to know and so confused because we get names after names every day of who the next manager is, that we all tend to forget that we have a derby on Sunday, which is the reason why I've lived this derby. The last 24 hours in a derby normally for me are taking craps, pissing about 7 times a day, even more, stomach cramps, not sleeping at night. I've been perfectly fine these past 24 hours because it feels like everybody's speaking about new manager, Patrick Vieira, Pioli, Allegri, Sarri, Ranieri, are you going to stay? No, I won't stay. Ranieri, who will it be? I won't tell you. That we're forgetting that we've got a final rush in a very important season, that we've got a derby on Sunday, and it's just losing. It's not entertaining. For the sake of it, announce this manager. We all know that you have got a manager in your hands. Announce this manager. I've reached the stage where I don't even care who it is. Announce this name and shut the rumors, because everything that Roma fans and Roma media and mainstream media and Roma radios and Roma everything, we're forced to speak about this manager, which distracts the team and distracts the fans from what needs to be 7 finals from now to the end of the season. So just announce this man, and please, let's put an end to this story. Right. What else can I say? My motivational speech for this one is, I like away derbies more than home derbies. Because away derbies, of course, the majority of the stadium will be Lazio fans. So if you win, it'll taste even more. I've been to more home derbies than away derbies. I think this is my 5th away derby. And I think I've never seen us win an away derby. I'm thinking, because last season 1-0 to them, 0-0. The year before that, 1-0 to them. And the year we lost 3-2. So yeah, I don't think I've ever seen us win a derby away from home. I'm not sure if I'm unlucky. I'm very lucky. I bring a lot of luck in home games, home derbies, but away derbies, this luck is yet to be tested. We'll see if on Sunday we will be victorious. We will see if on Sunday we, as always, will have the keys of the city of Rome. And away derbies are better because pressure is on them, number one. And number two, it's like imagine yourself imagine you with your biggest enemies around you playing a one-on-one boxing fight against your biggest enemy. But when it's you, imagine it's like the worst friend that I have, me against him in a ring, boxing fight. And around the ring, you all have supporters of the idiot, of the guy you hate. You get fired up even more in case you win. So, away derbies have got this extra fritz, this extra spice that in these big games, big rivalry games, is something to consider. But, yeah, what can I say? Guys, lads and lasses, this game decides our season. This game not decides our season, decides our Champions League fate. If we want to keep on dreaming, if we want to keep on believing, if we want to keep on fighting for that top 4, which we have kind of replaced ourselves in it by fighting, by spitting blood, by climbing out of the black hole by ourselves with no help, grinding it out, to give a sense to this comeback that Ranieri has given, we must beat the rivals of the lifetime. We must beat them. We hate them. They disgust me. They are pigs. They are rats. We gotta kill them. We simply have to destroy them. How many Roma fans will be allowed in the Olimpico? It will be 70-30%. 70 them, 30% us. But of course, yeah. Salman Hunters that play some of the most entertaining football in the Europa League. Would you consider Elder as a second striker for next season? He got his contract prolonged until 2027. If we can get a second striker and put Elder to third, it would be even better. But of course, if I need to spend money that I could spend better on a second striker when you extend Elder's contract, then I wouldn't. If we've got the availability to cover the positions that we need and get a second striker, then I would relegate Elder to third, even though he's played phenomenal this season and he deserves all the respect, but that's just the way I see it. Otherwise, keep Elder as second. He's done what he had to do, and I can genuinely say nothing to him this season. Che ansia maledetta la madre del suino. I heard Ranieri is planning 2 striker ahead parallel from... I think that won't happen, because if you do need to change formation starting with 2 strikers, then you can't really do it, because you can't use your killer player from the bench to change the game. So I don't think that will do. I mean, I don't think the derby is the game to do such a thing. Right, guys, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. We'll do a minus 24 hours live stream tomorrow. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Hit the like, subscribe. 100 likes in this video. If you hate them, if they disgust you, and if you believe in us, in beating the rivals of a lifetime. 100 likes, subscribe. We're 30 subscribers away from 16k. Get your friends and families along. Buckle up. Lazio merda. Forza Roma. Simo out.